you need to challenge those thoughts. You need to challenge yourself and say,
I simply
okay, inflammation medicine, so like an Advil, why is she saying it like that? What's up, y'all? This is Mrs. Snowflake, or Not Your Average Reaction. I'm just a guy who likes to work out, that also likes Girl World. I like to react to anything fitness or health related. Today, we're going to be looking at Amberlyn's weigh-in episode 8 titled Prescribed a New Medicine After In and Out of Hospital. Okay, so basically in this video, Amber doesn't physically weigh in, but she does tell us her weight, and apparently she lost like 3 pounds, and she's surprised because she hasn't been tracking her calories, and she explains that it's become too exhausting, so she's just kind of choosing better options for herself. The rest of the video, she just answers a bunch of questions, especially about her hospital visit, but never really gives any detailed explanation of like what really specifically is going on. Other than that, nothing really happened. But I hope y'all enjoy the video anyway. Over to you, mop legs.
hello, welcome to another weigh-in video. Let's get straight into the 5 questions. Do you realize that wrap from Chick-fil-A is 660 calories? So no, it is not 660 calories. It is only 660 calories when you get the lime ranch with it. I am not a lime girly, and you guys also know that I am a dry girly pop, so I actually eat the wrap just plain with no dressing at all. So with no dressing at all, the calories are 350. Do you realize how proud I am of you for your last What I Ate Today video? So I had to add this because I just thought that was super sweet, and I appreciate people acknowledging that I really am trying. I am not the type of girly pop that thinks that tough love is the right answer, because for
I don't know what an Amberlyn Reid looks like when she's trying. She just has such a destructive, like self-destructive tendencies that I don't expect it to add up to much.
me, tough love makes me revert and it makes me fail. I am more of a girly pop.
Might be like a demand avoidance type of thing, you know? I can totally understand.
Needs support and kindness. That's what keeps me going. I know some people can do tough love and they hate the like soft love.
I think there's a good balance, right? I think you need to be real with people, but you can definitely do it in a kind way, right? You can tell somebody that you love them and you're worried about their health, and you want to do anything in your power to help them be successful, But when you've been trying to do this your entire life, or at least for 10 years on YouTube, I think people's frustrations are probably justified. I think all of us know that Amber needs serious help in order to save her life. But again, it's the self-destructive tendencies. I think she really knows what works and what's going to help her, and she just avoids it.
But that's not me. How do you feel about loose skin? Years and years and years ago, in my early 20s, I hated the thought of it, but I'm definitely different now. I think loose skin shares a journey and it shows strength for anyone that has loose skin. Like
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with loose skin. I don't think it can look weird depending on how much skin it is.
beautiful. And that is literally just like an award. It's a medal that shows like you were once in such a difficult spot and you put in the work to fix it. Nothing to be ashamed of, and you're beautiful regardless. The only issue for me is I'm afraid of because I've heard people saying that it hurts and you get rashes and things like that. So that's the only downfall and thing that I'm afraid of. My thoughts on it. I have no negative thoughts on it. How society feels though, people can be really harsh and cruel about it. There are so many shallow people out there, but you know what? If I can be loved and people can find me attractive
I promise you, I do not walk around judging people based off of how big they are. Like my brain, unless they are in an insane situation, like our GWORL, I don't look at people and think, oh my God, that's horrifying or anything like that. It's usually just that's a person. And I don't really have much more of a thought besides that. So just know that there are people that walk around that don't think like that. I promise you.
500 plus pounds, then I know that I can be loved and accepted and found attractive even with loose skin. Does eating sweets make you tired? I've never really been the type to get tired after eating. I know people like to say that happens like on Thanksgiving and such, but I've never really had that issue, so no. How many diet sodas do you have now versus when you didn't drink water? So I've pretty much cut it in half. So before I started drinking water, I'd probably have like 6 diet sodas a day, like the cans. And like sometimes like a fountain drink would replace a couple of the cans. But now I'm just having a couple a day. So now we're going to talk about my goals for last week and if I succeeded in those. So my first goal was do not weigh in daily, because I was doing that on Noom. I was weighing in daily. And I told myself to wait till Tuesday. And I was successful in that. So yay. Next goal was work on my relationship with food. And I was also successful in that. Third goal was make an appointment with my doctor, and I did, but unfortunately it's a month from now. And now I'm going to talk about my goal for this week.
And like honestly, all of these things are super valid, cool, and fair, but it's all of these things are non-specific, and when you come to YouTube with this like health journey and then you're just super non-specific with all this stuff, it makes me think, and probably the rest of the audience think, that it's disingenuous.
I simply want to continue working on my relationship with food. I want to choose foods that will be good for my body in moments where I would normally choose foods that probably wasn't the greatest for me. It is going to be a moderation. So I'm not telling myself, oh, you can never have these things. It's just have them in moderation, but make sure you are fueling your body. Eating things like salads, vegetables, fruits. So now let's talk about how my week went. So I have been in and out of the hospital for the last like 2 to 3 days, and it has been pretty hard on me. I have had so much anxiety and worry, confusion and fear. It has definitely been bothering me. Obviously, it would bother anyone. And honestly, seeing my mom as stressed out as she has been because she's been worrying about me, it makes me feel really, really bad. So I normally, during moments like this, would like turn to food, stuff my face, be an emotional eater, harder than ever before. But I have actually chosen to use this to drive me into making better choices. So since the whole hospital things have happened recently, so in the beginning of the week, I have still chosen not the greatest things like out of habit, but I have also been consciously choosing good things as well. This is a learning curve and I've actually been enjoying it. I was counting calories for like weeks and I'm over it. I hate counting calories. It is possible to build a good relationship with food and lose weight.
The thing is, like, a lot of these things aren't super difficult at the start of it, and you're super motivated at the start, right? But once the motivation ends, then you have to know logically that I need to do this. I need to be dedicated to this in order to meet my goals. And so it's like every time there's just like that literal resistance, you throw your hands in the air. It's back to this like self-destructive, you're like, oh, I'm a little bit successful with counting my calories. And then something in your brain flips and then you're just like, I can't do that anymore. And I'm not saying this to say that you can't be successful doing those sorts of things. But again, based off of the history of 10 years on YouTube, it's not looking good for our girl.
While doing so. But having to count every single calorie I was eating, it was becoming exhausting and overwhelming. And I found that I was actually...
And this is just so interesting. We don't know her life, but, you make videos on YouTube. The videos consist of mostly you sitting on your couch, occasionally, going to bingo and stuff like that. it becomes overwhelming to you, you need to challenge those thoughts. You need to challenge yourself and say, why am I feeling this sense of being overwhelmed when I have all the time in the world? Start getting logical with it. How many more hours in the day do I have? What really do I want to do right now? Am I irritated and I just want to eat or like turn to television? You know, it's just, yeah, it's super frustrating.
Making better choices, not counting calories. And on some days I was actually eating less than I normally would have while counting calories. Because when I count calories, sometimes I find like, oh, I have so many calories left over. Let me eat 2 candy bars. But it's like, while I'm not counting calories and I'm purposely trying to choose better things for me, I don't have that weird excuse in my head anymore. It's all a mental game and I'm learning how to just navigate through it. So last weigh-in, I was 516.2 and this weigh-in, I was 513.0. So that means I'm down 3.2 pounds. I'm surprised I lost any weight, to be honest, because my legs are very inflamed. I actually got prescribed an inflammation medicine. They told me to only take the inflammation medicine like if I want to, because they understand that having lymphedema, like you're gonna have this inflammation regardless. So we're gonna see. So it's like, do I want a relief just for like a very short amount of time? It's a weird concept because it's not like I can just be on inflammation medicine for the rest of my life. That's just not the way it works. I just wanted to ease some of my inflammation for a little bit and I appreciate that, but I genuinely don't.
Okay, inflammation medicine, so like an Advil? Why is she saying it like that?
See the point in even taking it if it's only gonna be for a week and then I have to just go back to feeling like shit again. I don't know. But that is the end of my weigh-in. I hope that you guys enjoyed and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Woo! All right. If you can't tell by this ridiculous video, it's for entertainment and limu emu purposes only. Nothing here is meant to be taken seriously whatsoever. I'm just sharing my own opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information. First made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited, negative, disparaging comments. I love Karina Kaboom.
Never told to wear a seatbelt, and like, I don't know, just think of it, back in the day nobody wore seatbelts.
Can you blame me? How cute is wasabi? I'm literally smitten. Okay.